The hospital was silent except for the relentless beep of monitors. Emily pressed her hand to the cold, sterile wall, heart racing as she stared at the room ahead. Inside, a small girl lay tangled in blankets, eyes wide and terrified, her fragile body a reminder of a night no one could forget. And then their eyes met. In that instant, Emily felt it, the strange, electric pull that made her chest ache and her mind race. Two lives, both broken, both scarred, both carrying secrets they had never dared speak aloud, colliding in the quietest place imaginable, a hospital room. Neither of them knew that the night that changed everything wasn't over, that the shadows of the past were still waiting, that the red light, the accident, and the fear they thought they'd left behind were only the beginning. And yet, in the middle of fear and pain, something tender bloomed, a connection neither time nor tragedy could erase. Two hearts, fragile and wounded, slowly learning that love could survive even the darkest nights. But love here wasn't simple. It would demand courage, forgiveness, and trust, and the past wasn't finished with them yet. Because in this hospital, hearts were healing, slowly. And someone was watching. Before diving into the gripping details of this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more thrilling stories. The rain had already soaked the world outside when Emily Carter was rushed through the sliding doors of St. Augustine Hospital. A sprained ankle, nothing more, but the dull ache in her chest from months of loneliness hurt far worse. She'd come to the city chasing dreams, only to realize dreams didn't keep you warm when life felt unbearably quiet. Nurse Daniel Reyes didn't believe in fate. He believed in charts, procedures, and schedules. He'd learned long ago that life was easier when you didn't expect miracles. Yet something in his chest paused, just for a beat, when he saw Emily sitting on the exam bed, brushing raindrops out of her hair like she was apologizing to the universe for existing at the wrong moment. "Rough day?" he asked, offering a smile warm enough to compete with the hospital's fluorescent lights. "You have no idea," she replied, her laugh a fragile thing that begged to be protected. What began as a routine checkup turned into conversations that stretched long after his shift ended. Emily discovered Daniel was caring for his younger sister after their mother's sudden passing. Daniel learned Emily had moved across the country to escape a life that looked perfect from the outside but felt painfully hollow inside. Each visit brought new stories, shared secrets, and a strange sense that even in a place full of wounds, healing could begin quietly, sometimes just by being seen. One rainy evening, Emily returned for a final checkup. Daniel found her sitting in the waiting room, staring at the storm through the glass doors. "Hey," he said softly, "ankle still bothering you?" "Not really," she admitted, glancing down. "I guess I wasn't ready to stop seeing you." His breath caught. For someone who didn't believe in miracles, he suddenly found himself wishing for one. Before he could respond, an overhead announcement crackled. "Code blue. Room 409. Daniel's face drained of color. "That's my sister's room." He sprinted down the hallway, Emily racing behind him despite the lingering soreness in her ankle. Nurses rushed past them. Alarms blared. The world blurred into panic. Daniel reached the doorway, only to freeze. His sister lay still, surrounded by doctors. "Daniel," Emily whispered, reaching for his hand. But before their fingers touched, a doctor turned toward him, expression unreadable. "We need to talk," he said. Emily's heart pounded. Daniel's eyes filled with fear. And in that fragile, trembling moment, neither of them knew whether this was the beginning of their love story, or the end before it could even start. Daniel felt the ground tilt beneath him as he stepped into room 409. The machines were still beeping, but his sister, Sophia, looked impossibly small under the blankets, her skin pale, her breaths shallow, each one a fragile promise. The doctor guided him gently aside. "She had a sudden arrhythmia. We stabilized her, but she's not waking up yet. We're monitoring her closely." Daniel swallowed hard, staring at the little sister he had practically raised. The one who joked too loudly, hugged too tightly, and believed he could fix anything. Now he didn't know where to put his hands, his hope, or the storm raging in his chest. Emily stepped into the room, silent but present, standing close enough for him to feel her warmth without demanding anything from him. "Daniel," she whispered, "she's fighting. She's strong. Just like you." A tear slipped down his cheek, the kind he hadn't allowed himself to shed in years. Without thinking, Emily reached out and gently brushed it away. He didn't pull back. For a moment, the chaos of the hospital faded. It was just the two of them, two souls drawn together by fear, tenderness, and something deeper neither dared name. "I don't know what I'll do if—" Daniel's voice cracked. "Don't finish that," Emily said softly. "Not tonight." Hours passed. Nurses came and went. The storm eased outside, but inside room 409, Daniel's world remained suspended between hope and heartbreak. Emily refused to leave, even when visiting hours ended. They sat side by side, watching Sophia's chest rise and fall, praying it would keep doing so. At some point, Daniel's head dropped onto Emily's shoulder, exhausted, vulnerable, trusting her in a way he hadn't trusted anyone in years. She didn't move. She held him. A soft knock came at the door. A night shift nurse poked her head in. "Mr. Reyes, I think you should see this." Daniel stood abruptly. "What's happening?" The nurse didn't answer, only gestured for him to follow. Emily rose too, anxiety twisting in her stomach. They walked through the dim hallway, past the quiet nurse's station, past the vending machines humming like restless ghosts. The nurse stopped in front of a glass window. Inside was a doctor reviewing scans, Sophia's scans. The doctor looked up, his expression serious. "Daniel," he said, "we found something we missed before. Something that changes everything about her condition." Emily grabbed Daniel's hand without hesitation. He squeezed back, needing her more than he could admit. The doctor exhaled slowly, and then he said the words that made Emily gasp and made Daniel's knees nearly give out. "Your sister's heart isn't the only one that needs saving." Before Daniel could speak, before Emily could ask anything, the doctor turned the screen toward them, revealing something that would shake both of their lives in a way none of them were prepared for. The monitor's glow cast eerie shadows across the doctor's face as he rotated the scan toward them. Emily's breath hitched, and Daniel instinctively leaned forward, his pulse thundering in his ears. "This," the doctor said, tapping the image, "is something we didn't detect in Sophia's earlier exams." The scan showed a faint, irregular shape near the center of Sophia's heart, small, but unmistakable. "It's a congenital defect," he continued. "One that's been silent for years. It likely triggered tonight's arrhythmia. It means she's going to need a much more specialized treatment plan and possibly surgery." Daniel felt the air leave his lungs. "Surgery? But she's so young. You told me she was stabilizing." "She's, for now," the doctor said gently. "But this changes the long-term outlook. We need to act quickly." Emily squeezed Daniel's hand, grounding him. "What do you need from him?" she asked for him, because Daniel couldn't form the words. The doctor hesitated. "Her legal guardian must make the decisions. And we'll need to run genetic testing. This type of defect is often hereditary." Daniel's confusion deepened. "Hereditary? But I've never—" The doctor placed a second file on the counter. "This is where things get complicated." Emily felt Daniel's grip tighten around her fingers. "With your permission," the doctor said carefully, "we'd like to run genetic tests on you as well. There's a possibility that Sophia isn't the only one in danger." Silence fell between them, heavy, suffocating. Daniel blinked, stunned. "You think I have the same defect?" "It's possible," the doctor said. "And if so, we're working against the same clock." The hallway seemed to tilt, the quiet hum of machines suddenly louder, sharper. Emily stepped closer, her voice trembling but steady. "Daniel, you need to get tested. For your sake. For hers." He shook his head, overwhelmed. "No. Sophia needs me. I'm not leaving her side." "But if something is wrong with you," Emily began. "I don't matter," Daniel snapped, then immediately flinched, regret tightening his jaw. "I didn't mean—" "Yes," Emily whispered, her voice breaking, "you do." He stared at her then, really stared. The girl who'd walked into the hospital with a sprained ankle and somehow ended up holding together the parts of him he never showed anyone. Her eyes shimmered with fear, not for herself, but for him. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then the doctor cleared his throat. "We'll give you some time." He stepped out, leaving the two of them alone in the dim hallway, connected by a single fragile thread, fear of losing each other before they'd even begun. Emily lifted a trembling hand to Daniel's chest. "Let me help you. Don't push me away." Daniel closed his eyes, battling 1,000 storms at once. "Emily, what if something's really wrong with me? What if this, whatever this is between us, was never meant to last?" She swallowed hard. "Then let me be there anyway." For the first time, Daniel didn't have an answer. Before either of them could speak again, a nurse rushed toward them, breathless. "Daniel, something's happening in your sister's room." His head shot up. Emily froze. The nurse's voice trembled. "You need to come now. Her monitors just changed dramatically." Daniel ran, Emily right behind him, hearts pounding in unison. They reached the doorway just as the room erupted with alarms. Nurses swarmed around Sophia's bed. One turned toward Daniel, eyes wide. Her heart. But Daniel never heard the rest, because at that exact second, Sophia's eyes suddenly fluttered open and fixed directly on Emily, as if she recognized her, as if she'd been waiting for her. Emily gasped. Daniel stared, and Sophia whispered a single word that froze them both. "You." The monitors spiked. Emily's blood turned to ice. Daniel's world shattered anew. What did Sophia mean? And why was she looking at Emily like she was the key to everything, or the reason everything was about to fall apart? Emily froze at the sound of that single, fragile word. "You." Sophia's voice was barely a whisper, rasped and weak, but it carried something that made the room feel suddenly colder, recognition, urgency, almost fear. Daniel stepped closer to the bed, stunned. "Sophia? Hey, I'm here. Emily's here too. Just breathe, okay?" But Sophia didn't look at him. Her gaze stayed locked on Emily, wide and disoriented, as if she were seeing something she wasn't supposed to see, or someone she knew but couldn't place. Emily's heart pounded painfully. "Sophia, do you know me?" Sophia swallowed, her eyes fluttering. A nurse adjusted her oxygen, but her hand kept reaching, trembling, toward Emily. Her voice cracked. "The red light." Emily's breath caught. "The red light." Before Emily could ask more, Sophia winced, clutching her chest as her monitors spiked again. "Sophia!" Daniel's voice broke as nurses rushed forward. "Everyone, please step back," one of them said urgently, guiding Daniel and Emily toward the wall. Emily felt Daniel's hand searching for hers, but she couldn't move, couldn't blink, couldn't think, because she knew exactly what Sophia meant. The red light, a traffic signal, a street corner, rain pouring down like it had been tonight. A night Emily had tried so hard to forget. The night she made a choice she'd never told anyone about. She pressed a shaking hand to her lips as the memory hit her. Emily, running across the intersection in a storm, a car screeching, a scream, a small figure on the sidewalk. No, it couldn't be. She never saw who the girl was. She never stayed to find out. She'd panicked. She'd run. She'd lived with the guilt ever since. Sophia couldn't be that girl, could she? Daniel turned to Emily, finally, his voice raw with terror and confusion. "Emily, what did she mean? What red light? Why is she looking at you like that?" Emily opened her mouth, but no words came out. Because if the memory was real, if Sophia was that child, then Emily hadn't just stepped into Daniel's life by accident. She'd crashed into it years before either of them realized. The nurses huddled urgently around the bed. One of them called loudly. "Her heart rhythm's unstable again. We're losing her." Daniel's face crumpled, and he lunged toward his sister. But Emily grabbed his arm, voice trembling. "Daniel, there's something I need to tell you." He turned to her, eyes wild, desperate, confused. "Not now, Emily, please." "It's about Sophia," she whispered, the words breaking her. "About what she saw. About what happened at that red light." Daniel froze. Sophia gasped on the bed. The monitors wailed. And somewhere between love and truth, The ground beneath all three of them shattered. Because in the next second, Sophia's voice broke through the chaos, hoarse and urgent. "Daniel, don't let her go." Emily's heart stopped. Daniel's eyes snapped toward her. And before either of them could speak, Sophia flatlined. The room erupted. Daniel screamed her name. Emily stumbled backward, tears streaming, knowing the truth she carried might save everything or destroy it all. The piercing sound of the flatline tore through the room like a blade. Nurses moved fast, calling commands, preparing the crash cart. A doctor rushed in, pushing past Daniel, who stood frozen, caught between terror for his sister and the impossible words still hanging between him and Emily. "Starting compressions, now." Emily pressed herself against the wall, hands trembling violently. Her vision blurred with tears, the world shrinking to the sight of Sophia's small body jolting under the shocks, one after another, while Daniel watched in silent agony. "Please," he whispered, voice cracking. "Please don't take her too." Emily's chest tightened. She wanted to comfort him, hold him, be his anchor, but the truth inside her felt like a ticking bomb ready to tear everything apart. A nurse called out, "We have a pulse." Weak but present. The flat line turned into a faint, shaky rhythm. Daniel inhaled sharply, knees nearly buckling. "Stabilize her," the doctor ordered. "Prepare her for transfer to the cardiac unit. She's not out of danger yet." The rush of activity continued, but for Daniel, the world narrowed to the thready rise and fall of his sister's chest. And for Emily, it narrowed to the weight of the secret pressing against her ribs. When the room finally cleared and Sophia was being prepped for transport, Daniel turned slowly toward her. The devastation in his eyes nearly shattered her. "Emily," he whispered, "what were you going to tell me?" She swallowed hard. "Daniel, I never meant for any of this to happen." What did she mean about the red light? His tone shook, not with anger, but with fear. "Why did she look at you like she remembered you?" Emily closed her eyes, remembering the storm, the screech of brakes, the child's scream she had tried so hard to bury. "I think," her voice faltered, "I think I was there the night she got hurt. Before you ever met me. Before I knew anything." Daniel stared at her as though she'd spoken in a language he didn't understand. "You, what?" "I didn't hit anyone," Emily rushed to clarify, tears spilling. "But there was an accident. A car came out of nowhere. I tried to help, but I panicked. I ran. I was terrified. And when Sophia said, 'the red light,' Daniel, I think she remembers me being there." Daniel stepped back, as if the air between them had become suddenly dangerous. "You were at the scene of Sophia's accident?" His voice was barely a whisper. "The accident that changed her whole life? The accident that almost killed her?" Emily sobbed. "I didn't know it was her. I didn't know until tonight." Daniel pressed a shaking hand to his forehead, torn between heartbreak and disbelief. "Emily, how am I supposed to process this? How do I?" A nurse appeared in the doorway, breathless. "Daniel, we need you. Sophia's asking for someone. She's awake again, but she's confused. And she keeps saying the same thing." Daniel's head snapped up. "What thing?" The nurse hesitated. "Bring her back." Emily's blood turned cold. The nurse's eyes settled on her. "She's asking for you, Emily." Daniel's breath caught. Emily's heart dropped. And the nurse added, voice trembling, "She says she remembers something important. But she won't say it unless Emily is in the room." Daniel looked at Emily, the storm of his emotions unreadable. Emily took a step forward, fearful, guilt-ridden, but drawn by something deeper she didn't yet understand. Daniel's voice finally broke through. "Emily," he swallowed hard, "I don't know if I can trust you right now." The words cut painfully, but they weren't the last ones. He stepped aside and gestured toward the hallway. "But Sophia wants you, and whatever she remembers, we're all about to hear it." Emily walked past him, her heart pounding, because somewhere deep inside her chest, she knew. Sophia wasn't calling her just to remember the past. She was calling her because the past wasn't done with any of them, and what Sophia was about to say would change everything. Emily stepped into the dimly lit room, her hands trembling. Sophia lay propped up by pillows, her eyes wide and unsteady but focused, unmistakably on Emily. Daniel lingered in the doorway, silent, his heart both aching and suspicious. Sophia's voice was faint, raspy, but there was an intensity in her gaze that sent chills down Emily's spine. "You," Sophia whispered again, reaching a trembling hand toward Emily. Emily knelt beside the bed, instinctively taking the child's hand. "It's me, Sophia. It's okay." Sophia's lips quivered. "The night, the red light, you saved me." Emily's heart stopped. She choked on her words. "I didn't know. I thought I lost you that night. I panicked, I ran." Sophia's grip tightened, her small fingers clutching Emily's wrist. "No, you didn't run away. You said somehow. You're the one who found me after." Daniel stepped closer, confusion and relief warring on his face. "What? She remembers you saved her?" Emily swallowed hard. "Yes, she does. She's been carrying it with her all these years, and tonight she remembered." Sophia's eyes flicked to Daniel, still weak but intense. He doesn't know." Daniel frowned. "Doesn't know what?" Sophia's lips pressed together. Her eyes darted between Emily and Daniel. "Trust." Her voice faded, exhaustion overtaking her. Emily held her hand, whispering reassurances. Daniel glanced at her, fear and awe warring in his expression. But before anyone could respond, the monitors began to beep erratically. Emily's stomach dropped. "No, not again." Daniel rushed to the side of the bed. "Sophia? Stay with us." The nurse barked orders, and the team sprang into action. But Emily stayed by Sophia's side, holding her hand, whispering courage into her ears. Then, through the chaos, Sophia's eyes widened and she gasped. "The other one? The one you didn't see?" Emily froze. Daniel's jaw tightened. What do you mean?" Daniel asked, voice strained. Sophia's lips barely moved. "She's still out there?" Emily's blood ran cold. Daniel's eyes met hers, wide with fear and disbelief. And just as the alarms reached a deafening pitch, the lights flickered and went out completely. Darkness swallowed the room. And in the silence, a faint, terrifying whisper echoed through the hallway. "You shouldn't be here." The darkness was sudden, suffocating, broken only by the frantic beeping of Sophia's monitors. Nurses fumbled for flashlights. Daniel grabbed Emily's hand instinctively, holding on as if letting go might mean losing her forever. What was that?" Emily whispered, voice shaking. "I don't know," Daniel admitted, his own voice tight. "But it came from the hallway." Sophia, weak but determined, lifted her small hand toward the door. "She's coming." Emily froze. "Who's coming, Sophia?" Sophia's eyes fluttered shut for a moment, then snapped open. The one who saw everything." Daniel's chest tightened. "The other one? You mean the other child from the red light?" Sophia nodded faintly, whispering, "She's in danger, and you have to stop her." Emily's heart stopped. "Stop her? What do you mean?" "Sophia, pooh." The lights flickered violently before snapping back on, revealing a shadow moving outside the room, just past the glass doors of the cardiac wing. Daniel's voice dropped to a whisper. "Did you see that?" Emily squinted. "Yes, but who?" Before anyone could answer, a soft, deliberate tap echoed from the glass. Both Daniel and Emily turned toward it. A figure stood there, drenched in rain, face hidden beneath a hood. Slowly, deliberately, the figure raised a hand, pointing directly at Emily. Emily's stomach dropped. "It can't be!" Daniel stepped in front of her. "Who are you?" he demanded, voice firm but shaking. The figure didn't answer. Instead, a single paper slipped through the slightly ajar door, landing at Emily's feet. Hands trembling, she picked it up. Her eyes widened as she read the words scrawled in familiar handwriting. "You weren't supposed to survive that night, but you did. Now it's your turn." Sophia whimpered weakly, clutching Emily's hand. "She's back." Emily's mouth went dry. Daniel grabbed her shoulders. "Emily, what is happening?" She swallowed hard. The past, it's not over." Not for any of us. And in that instant, the hospital doors rattled violently as if something, or someone, was forcing its way inside. Daniel's eyes met hers, wide with fear and determination. Emily whispered, "We have to protect Sophia, and we have to face her." The shadow moved closer, and the lights flickered again, casting the figure in full view. It was someone Emily hadn't seen in years, but would never forget. And as the doors swung open completely, the figure stepped inside, smiling coldly. "Hello, Emily." The hospital corridor seemed to stretch endlessly as the figure stepped fully into the light. Rain dripped from the hooded coat, pooling on the floor, but the cold, deliberate calm of the person sent shivers down Emily's spine. "Hello, Emily," the figure said again, voice low and sharp, almost familiar. Emily's breath caught. Her hand tightened around Sophia's. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered, though her voice trembled. The figure laughed softly, a sound that twisted in the silence like ice. "Oh, but I had to come. After all, you were the reason everything changed that night." Daniel stepped protectively in front of Emily. "Who are you? What do you want?" The figure lowered the hood slowly. Rain-slicked hair fell across a pale face, and Emily's heart skipped. Recognition struck her like lightning. It was the other child from the red light. The one she thought she'd saved, the one she never knew survived. "You," Emily gasped, shaking. I thought you didn't make it." The girl, or now a young woman, smiled faintly, but there was no warmth in her eyes. "I did, but I've been waiting all these years for this moment." Sophia's small hand squeezed Emily's. "She remembers." Emily's heart lurched. "Remembers?" "She remembers everything." The girl's smile widened, frightening in its calmness. "Everything. How you panicked. How you ran. How you left me. How you survived while I suffered." Daniel felt a chill run down his spine. "Suffered? What do you mean?" "She's been waiting," Sophia whispered weakly, eyes fluttering. "Waiting for you, Emily." Emily stepped forward, voice trembling. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know. The girl raised a hand, silencing her. "Sorry doesn't fix anything. Not tonight. Tonight, you pay." Daniel's hand found Emily's, squeezing tightly. "Can we run?" Emily shook her head. "No, not this time. Not again. We protect Sophia. Together." The young woman tilted her head, considering them both. "Together, huh? Interesting. Very interesting." Sophia's small voice was urgent. "Emily, she's not alone." Emily's heart raced. "What do you mean?" Before anyone could answer, the girl reached into her coat and pulled out something metallic that glinted under the harsh hospital lights. Emily's blood ran cold. Daniel's face went pale. "Emily, she's armed." Emily swallowed, fear and determination clashing inside her. "We can't let her hurt Sophia." The young woman's eyes gleamed. "You think you can stop me? After all these years? After everything I lost?" Emily stepped forward, hand tightening around Daniel's. "We don't have to do it alone. Sophia, we're your family. You're not alone either." Sophia weakly nodded, a small flicker of hope in her exhausted eyes. The girl laughed again, low and dangerous. "Suspense, how sweet. Too bad none of that will save you tonight." And just as she advanced a step toward them, the lights flickered violently, and the monitors in room 409 went completely dark. Daniel grabbed Emily's arm. "Hold on to me. Whatever happens, we face this together." Emily nodded, tears streaking her face. "Together." The figure moved closer, shadows stretching long in the flickering light, and time seemed to slow. Then, a deafening crash echoed through the hallway, metal, glass shattering, alarms screaming louder than ever. Emily looked at Daniel. This isn't just about Sophia anymore." Daniel swallowed, heart pounding. "No, it's about all of us." The young woman raised her hand again, and in that instant, everything went black. When the lights came back on, the hallway was a chaotic mess. Alarms blared, the sound of rushing feet filled the air, and glass shards glittered on the wet floor. Emily's heart pounded as she blinked through the haze, searching for the figure, but she was gone. Daniel pulled her behind a hospital cart. Where did she go? Emily shook her head, voice barely audible. I don't know, she just vanished. Sophia whimpered weakly from the bed. You left for now? Emily knelt beside her, brushing damp hair from her face. It's okay, Sophia. You're safe for now. We're here. Sophia's small hand weakly clutched hers. She remembers everything. Daniel glanced at Emily, his eyes sharp with urgency. Emily, this isn't just about the accident anymore. That girl, she's been waiting all this time. And she knows everything about you, about us. She's dangerous. Emily's throat tightened. I know. And I think she's not done yet. She wants something, revenge, or maybe closure. But whatever it is, we have to be ready. For Sophia, for ourselves. Daniel nodded grimly. We need to call security. We need to lock this place down. And we need answers. How does she know all of this? Why now? Emily's gaze drifted back to Sophia. It's because of the past. Because of that night. And maybe because of us. Maybe she's been watching, waiting for the moment she could confront me. Sophia's eyes fluttered closed, exhausted. Emily held her hand tight, determined not to let fear break her. Daniel exhaled slowly. Emily, if she comes back, if she tries to hurt anyone, I won't let her. Not Sophia, not you. Emily's chest ached, but she nodded. I know, and I'll fight too. We'll face this together. Just then, a faint noise echoed from the empty hallway, soft footsteps, deliberate and slow, like someone pacing just out of sight. Emily's heart skipped. She whispered, she's back. Daniel's grip tightened. We can't run. We face her. We protect Sophia. Whatever it takes. The footsteps grew closer. The shadow of a figure flickered against the walls. Rainwater dripped from the ceiling vents, mixing with the tension in the air. Sophia's weak voice whispered again, almost a warning, and let's be ready. And then, the figure emerged from the darkness, hood down this time, face fully visible. A twisted smile on her lips, eyes locked on Emily with a haunting intensity. Emily's breath caught. It's her. Daniel whispered fiercely, stay behind me. Don't let her near Sophia. The young woman tilted her head, her gaze flicking from Emily to Sophia. You thought you could leave me behind, escape me, but now, the past has finally caught up. Emily squared her shoulders, fear melting into determination. I won't let you hurt her. Not Sophia. Not anyone. Whatever your pain, it ends here. The young woman laughed, low and chilling. Oh, Emily, it's just beginning. And as the shadows of the hallway seemed to stretch and twist around them, Emily realized this confrontation would change everything. Because some pasts don't stay buried. And some hearts don't forgive easily. Emily's hands trembled, but she refused to show fear. Daniel stepped closer, shielding Sophia's bed with his body. The young woman, the survivor of the red light accident, stood in the hallway, her face pale, eyes sharp, and hands empty for now. I waited all these years, she said softly, almost a whisper, but it carried across the corridor like a warning. I saw everything that night. The accident, the panic, the running. I thought I lost my chance, until now. Emily swallowed hard. You survived, you're alive. And now you're angry, but I never meant to hurt you. I didn't even know it was you. The woman's eyes softened for a fraction of a second. Do you think words can fix years of fear, years of pain? Daniel gripped Emily's hand. You don't have to do this alone, he said firmly, voice steady. Whatever happened back then, it's in the past. You have a choice now, leave or let us help you. For the first time, the woman hesitated. Her gaze flicked to Sophia, who was weak but watching intently. Emily leaned closer to the child. Sophia, stay strong. You're safe with us. Sophia whispered, and who gave me to help her too. Emily's eyes widened. She wants us to help you. All of us, together. The woman's jaw tightened. She took a step back, conflicted, her shoulders slumping. I don't know if I can forgive. Emily stepped forward slowly, keeping her hands visible. You don't have to forgive me, not yet. But I can help you heal. We can all heal together. Sophia survived because someone cared, and now you're here. You're alive. That's what matters. Daniel watched her, amazed by her courage. We'll face this together. No one's alone tonight. The woman's lips trembled. For the first time, tears welled in her eyes. I didn't think anyone remembered me, or cared. I was forgotten. Emily knelt level with her. You're not forgotten. And you'll never be alone again, if you let us in. A long pause filled the corridor, the beeping of monitors and distant hospital sounds echoing around them. Slowly, the woman stepped closer to Sophia's bed. She looked down at the child she'd once feared she'd never see again. I remember everything, she whispered, voice cracking. But maybe I can start again? Sophia's small hand reached toward her, trembling. Emily guided it, letting the two of them touch. A quiet strength passed between them, fragile but undeniable. Daniel exhaled, relief washing over him. It's okay, it's going to be okay. The young woman looked at Emily, eyes full of uncertainty and hope. You stayed, for me? Emily smiled softly. I never left. I just didn't know how to help, until now. And now, we can fix this. Together. The alarms quieted. The storm outside eased. The hospital felt warmer, safer, if only for a moment. Sophia yawned, exhausted but peaceful, her small hand still held by both Emily and the young woman. Daniel wrapped an arm around Emily, pulling her close. We made it, he whispered. Emily nodded, leaning against him. For now, but the past isn't done yet. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It's slow, like hearts mending one piece at a time. The young woman, finally letting go of some of her fear, smiled faintly at them all. I'll try. Slowly. One step at a time. Outside, the rain stopped. A single ray of sunlight pierced through the clouds, falling on the hospital entrance. And just as Emily allowed herself a breath of hope, the intercom crackled. Emergency! Critical patient incoming. Trauma Bay. Emily's eyes met Daniel's. Looks like our story isn't over yet. Daniel squeezed her hand. Then we face it together. And as the doors slid open, a new wave of uncertainty and possibility entered the hospital. The doors slid open, and a stretcher rolled into the trauma bay, sirens wailing in the distance, echoing down the quiet halls of the hospital. Daniel instinctively stepped closer to Emily, shielding her and Sophia as the team of doctors and nurses rushed past. Emily's gaze drifted toward the new patient, but her mind was still on the young woman from the red light accident. She was here, but the question now was, how long would she stay? And what else had the past left behind? Sophia stirred in her bed, weak but alert. Remembers. Emily knelt beside her, brushing back Sophia's damp hair. I know, Sophia. And we're not going to let her hurt anyone. Not tonight, not ever. Daniel gripped Emily's hand tightly. We can't let our guard down. Whoever that is, she knows too much. And she's not just angry, she's planning something. Emily nodded. We have to be ready. Not just for her, but for anyone else connected to that night. The past has a way of following you, and I think it's following us. Sophia's small voice whispered, the red light, the other, she's not alone. Emily froze. Her blood ran cold. Not alone. Daniel's eyes narrowed. What do you mean, Sophia? Sophia shook her head weakly. Helping waiting. Emily's heart sank. There's someone else out there. Someone connected to her, or to that night. And they're coming. Daniel exhaled slowly. Then we need a plan. We protect Sophia, we protect each other, and we make sure no one else gets hurt. Emily's gaze drifted to the young woman, still standing silently near the corner of the corridor. She looked smaller now, unsure, almost vulnerable, but Emily knew better. The fire behind her eyes hadn't gone out. You survived, Emily whispered, almost to herself. And so did I. But surviving isn't enough. We have to stop this before someone else gets hurt. The woman's lips trembled, a faint smile forming, almost imperceptible. You think you can stop it? She asked quietly, voice low. Dangerous? Emily stood tall, hands clenched. We have to. Together. Daniel stepped beside her, his jaw set. We're not backing down. Whatever your plan, whatever your pain, it ends tonight. Sophia's eyes flickered, her small hand reaching weakly for Emily. Together, she whispered. The young woman's gaze softened for a fleeting moment, as if she recognized the strength in the bond between them. Then, without warning, she turned and bolted down the corridor. Emily and Daniel exchanged a glance, hearts pounding. Go! Daniel shouted. Emily sprinted after her, but Daniel stayed with Sophia, lifting her gently from the bed. I've got you, kiddo. Stay close to me. The corridor stretched ahead, flickering lights casting long shadows. Emily pushed herself faster, heart hammering, until she caught sight of the young woman stopping near a stairwell. She turned, eyes wild, lips trembling. You don't understand, you can't fix this. Emily slowed, hands open, voice steady. Maybe not. But we can try. And you don't have to do this alone anymore. The young woman's eyes filled with tears. Oh, I've been alone for so long, you don't know what it's like. Emily stepped closer. I do. I really do. And we can face it together. Sophia survived because someone cared, and now, we all have a chance to survive, together. The woman's gaze flickered toward the stairwell behind her, then back to Emily. I don't know if I can trust anyone. Emily's voice softened. Start with me. That's all I'm asking. For a long moment, silence stretched, broken only by distant alarms and the soft drip of water from the rain outside. Finally, the young woman nodded slowly, as if the weight of years had lifted slightly. I'll try. But the past isn't done with us yet. It never is. Emily smiled faintly, hope blooming despite the fear. Then we face it. Together. Daniel's voice echoed from the stairwell. Emily, we need to get Sophia to safety. Emily turned, glancing once at the young woman who had haunted her for so long. I'll be back. I promise. The young woman nodded, eyes glimmering with a mixture of fear, hope, and something Emily couldn't quite name. And as Emily ran toward Daniel and Sophia, the storm outside finally ceased. The hospital was quiet, but the sense of unfinished business hung thick in the air. Because the past might have been confronted, but it wasn't over. And someone else, someone even closer to the red light accident, was still waiting in the shadows. Emily, Daniel, and Sophia navigated the quiet hospital corridors, the faint echo of their footsteps blending with the distant hum of machines. Sophia leaned weakly against Daniel, her small hand clutching his, while Emily kept her gaze sharp, scanning every shadow for any sign of the young woman or anyone else lurking in the wings. She's not alone, Sophia whispered, her voice barely audible. Some this behind her. Emily nodded grimly. I felt it too. There's more to that night than we know, and that someone else has been waiting all this time as well. Daniel exhaled slowly, running a hand through his hair. Then we have to find them first. Whoever it is, we can't let them hurt anyone else. Not Sophia, not her, not us. Emily's eyes narrowed. We need information. That means the hospital records, security footage, anything that ties the survivor from the red light accident to someone else. Sophia's tired eyes flickered with fear and determination. The driver? Emily froze. The driver? You mean the person who caused the accident? Sophia nodded weakly. She didn't act alone, someone helped. Daniel's eyes widened. Helped her? You mean it wasn't an accident? Someone planned it? Emily swallowed hard. Sophia, can you remember who it was? Sophia shook her head. No, the shadow. Emily's heart ached. Then we follow the trail, wherever it leads. And we make sure no one else suffers. The hospital seemed unnaturally quiet as they returned to room 409. The young woman from the red light accident was sitting on a chair near Sophia's bed, silent and watchful. Her eyes were dark with exhaustion and lingering fear, but there was a glimmer of trust forming between her and Emily. You brought her here safely, she said softly, nodding toward Sophia. Thank you. Emily gave her a faint, reassuring smile. We'll keep her safe. And we'll face whatever comes next, together. The woman's gaze dropped to her lap. But the other one, the one who caused it, they're still out there. Watching. Waiting. And they won't stop until they finish what they started. Daniel's jaw tightened. Then we find them first. Before they get a chance. Emily nodded, determination setting in. We start with the hospital records. Security cameras. Any clues about who might have been connected to the accident. Suddenly, the intercom crackled to life, voice cold and unfamiliar. Emily Carter. Daniel Ray. We've been waiting for you. Emily froze. Daniel instinctively moved in front of her. Sophia whimpered softly. The young woman's eyes widened. It's them, the other one. They're here. They've been following all these years. Emily's chest tightened. Then we can't wait. We have to confront them, now. Daniel nodded. Whatever happens, we face it together. No more running. A shadow moved in the hallway outside, tall and deliberate, and the voice on the intercom spoke again. Tonight, everything ends. Are you ready to face the truth? Emily's hand clenched Daniel's. We're ready. We have to be. The young woman from the red light accident stood slowly, finally showing a hint of courage. Then let's finish this, together. And as the hospital doors groaned open once more, the three of them stepped into the corridor, hearts pounding, ready to confront the person who had haunted their past, the one who had orchestrated the accident all those years ago. But what they didn't know was that the truth waiting for them would change everything they thought they knew about that night, about each other, and about the fragile bonds holding them together. The corridor was dim, lit only by the flickering fluorescent lights overhead. Emily, Daniel, Sophia, and the young woman from the red light accident, let's call her Lila, moved cautiously, every step echoing against the sterile walls. Then, from the far end of the hall, a tall figure stepped out of the shadows. The hospital seemed to hold its breath. Emily Carter. Daniel Reyes. The voice was calm, measured, and chilling. I wondered how long it would take for you to find me. Emily's heart skipped. Her grip on Daniel's hand tightened. Who are you? Why did you do it? The figure stepped forward into the light. Their face was sharp, cold, but familiar in a way that made Emily's stomach twist. I'm someone you should have remembered, the figure said, voice low. Someone connected to that night. You never saw me then, but I've been watching ever since. Waiting. Planning. Daniel's jaw tightened. You caused the accident. You're the reason Sophia was hurt. The figure's eyes flicked to Sophia. Not just Sophia. That night set everything into motion. Everyone you care about, everyone you love, you wouldn't be here today if it weren't for me. Emily's throat tightened. But what did we ever do to you? The figure smiled faintly, a twisted shadow of calm. You were careless. You were lucky. And some of us, we never forgive luck. Lila stepped forward, her voice trembling but strong. Stop. She's not alone anymore. She has people who care for her. She won't face you alone. Not this time. The figure turned to Lila, eyes narrowing. And you, survivor of the red light, you think you've healed? You're just a shadow of what could have been. And I will make you see that. Emily's heart pounded. She looked at Daniel. We're not letting her hurt anyone else. Sophia, stay behind me. Sophia's small voice trembled. Lead together. Emily nodded, determination hardening. Together. The figure lunged suddenly, but Lila stepped forward, placing herself between the figure and Sophia. No. Not this time. We fight together. We face the past. And we survive, together. Emily smiled, heart full. Together. And for the first time in years, the hospital was quiet, not from fear, but from peace. The storm had passed, and though the past lingered, it no longer held power over their hearts. Outside, the city hummed softly, unaware of the quiet miracle inside room 409. Hearts that had been broken, lost, and afraid, finally healing, slowly but completely, in the warmth of love and family. The months that followed were quiet, gentle, and full of small, meaningful victories. The hospital halls that had once echoed with alarms and chaos now felt like a place of hope and second chances. Sophia's health steadily improved. Each day, she grew stronger, her laughter ringing out like a bell through the hospital corridors. Emily and Daniel were always by her side, balancing care and love with careful guidance, teaching her that even when life feels fragile, hearts can mend. Lila began her own journey of healing. Therapy, support, and the unwavering patience of Emily and Daniel helped her face the shadows of her past. Slowly, she learned to trust again, not only in them but in herself. Her smile became lighter, more genuine, and she found herself laughing with Sophia over little jokes, stories, and shared secrets. Emily and Daniel's love deepened, tested by fear, strengthened by hope. They learned to lean on each other through uncertainty, to find courage in moments of doubt, and to savor the quiet, golden hours when everything felt safe. One late afternoon, as sunlight streamed through the hospital's big glass windows, Daniel held Emily's hand while Sophia and Lila played quietly nearby. "I never imagined it could be like this," Emily said softly, resting her head on Daniel's shoulder. Daniel kissed her forehead. "Neither did I. But I do know this, whatever storms come next, we'll face them together. Always." Emily smiled, her heart full. "Together." Sophia looked up from her coloring book, eyes shining. "Together, forever?" Emily laughed, brushing a stray lock of hair from her face. "Forever, sweetheart." Lila joined them, sitting quietly, her hand resting on Sophia's small shoulder. "And maybe we can all help each other heal completely. No more running, no more hiding. Just together." The four of them shared a quiet moment, the sunlight bathing them in warmth. Outside, the city moved on, unaware of the battles fought, the fears faced, and the hearts mended inside these walls. For Emily, Daniel, Sophia, and Lila, the past would always remain a part of them, but it no longer had power over their future. They had survived, they had loved, and most importantly, they had found each other. And as they sat together in the golden light, laughing softly and sharing stories, Emily realized something she had never allowed herself to hope before. No matter what the future held, their hearts, broken, scared, and fragile, had learned how to heal. Slowly, surely, together. 3 years had passed since that stormy night in the hospital, the night that changed everything. The small apartment they now called home was filled with sunlight, laughter, and the faint smell of baking bread. Sophia, now 9, had grown into a bright, curious, and confident girl. Her laughter echoed through the rooms as she zoomed past on her scooter, a tiny helmet perched atop her head. Emily watched from the kitchen, smiling as Daniel joined in, pretending to chase her but secretly letting her win every time. Okay. You got me." Daniel laughed, raising his hands in surrender as Sophia skidded to a stop. Beat you again." Sophia cheered, running up to hug Emily. Emily held her close. "You're unstoppable, you know that?" Sophia grinned. "Because I have the best team." She looked up at Daniel and Emily, eyes sparkling. "The best team ever." From the corner, Lila laughed softly, kneeling to adjust Sophia's helmet. "You're right, kiddo. We're a team. And teams stick together." Emily glanced at Lila, smiling warmly. "And look at you, all grown up, thriving. I'm proud of you." Lila shrugged, cheeks pink. "I had good teachers." Her gaze softened as she looked at Emily and Daniel. "And good friends." Daniel walked over, resting his hand on Emily's shoulder. "We've all healed, slowly like we promised. And look where it's gotten us. Together." Emily nodded, heart full. "Together. Through everything. And no matter what comes next, we face it like we always have, side by side." Sophia twirled, giggling, before sitting cross-legged on the floor and holding up her drawings. "I drew us. All together." Emily knelt beside her, tracing the smiling figures with her finger. "It's perfect, just like us." Lila crouched down too, smiling at the little masterpiece. "And it shows that even the past, no matter how scary, can't take away what we have now." Daniel smiled, leaning down to kiss Emily's temple. "I think this is what love looks like, and family. Healing together." laughing together, living together. Emily rested her hand over Daniel's. And it's only the beginning. We've still got a lot of adventures ahead. Sophia clapped her hands. Adventures? Can we have ice cream first? Laughter filled the apartment as Daniel, Emily, Lila, and Sophia moved together, a family forged not just by circumstance, but by love, courage, and the slow, steady mending of hearts. Outside, the sun shone brightly, as if the world itself had decided to reward the hearts that had endured storms, faced fears, and learned to love without holding back. And in that warm, golden light, Emily finally understood the truth she had longed for all those years. Hearts can break, hearts can heal, and with love, family, and courage, they can become stronger than ever, together. Even as life had settled into a warm, joyful rhythm, the past had a way of lingering in the quiet corners. One crisp autumn afternoon, Emily, Daniel, Sophia, and Lila were at the park, enjoying a rare day out. Sophia ran ahead, laughing as her scarf trailed behind her, while Emily and Daniel walked hand in hand, Lila strolling beside them. "Look at her go," Emily said, smiling at Sophia. "She's fearless." Daniel chuckled. "And unstoppable. Reminds me a lot of someone else I know." He winked at Emily. Lila laughed softly. "Careful or you'll make her blush." Their laughter carried across the park until a soft voice called from the distance. "Emily!" Emily froze. Her heart skipped a beat. The voice was faint but unmistakable, familiar, but older, wiser, and yet carrying the same sense of urgency she remembered. She turned slowly, and there, standing near the park entrance, was a young man mid-20s, raincoat in hand. His eyes locked on hers, and in that instant, 1,000 memories rushed back. The shadows of that night, the accident, the fear, and the long journey of healing. "Who?" Daniel whispered, stepping close to Emily, protective. Emily's hand went to her chest. "I think it's him. The one connected to the red light accident. The one Sophia said had been waiting all these years." Lila's eyes narrowed. "Are you sure?" Emily nodded slowly, her heart racing. "I never saw his face that night, but I remember the feeling. The fear. The guilt. And now, he's here." The young man stepped closer, his gaze softening as he looked at Sophia playing nearby, then at Lila, and finally at Emily. "I didn't know how to find you," he said quietly. "But I had to make things right." Daniel instinctively moved in front of Emily, but Emily placed a hand on his arm. "Daniel, let's hear him out." The young man swallowed, voice trembling slightly. "I was responsible for what happened that night. Not just the accident, but the aftermath. I stayed away because I didn't know how to fix it. But seeing you now, seeing all of you, I want to try. I want to help. I want to be part of the family I almost destroyed." Sophia ran up to Emily, tugging her hand. "Mom, Dad, look." Emily glanced down, then back at the young man. "You want to help?" "Really?" He nodded, eyes earnest. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness yet, but maybe, together, we can make things right." Lila stepped forward, her expression cautious but hopeful. "Then show us. Actions speak louder than words." The young man nodded again, stepping closer. "I will. I promise. I'll do whatever it takes to help." Emily felt a strange mix of fear, hope, and relief. The past was no longer just shadows. It was here, standing in front of them, offering a chance to heal even more. Daniel exhaled slowly, finally letting some tension go. "Then let's see if we can all move forward together." Sophia clapped her hands, giggling. "Together? Just like always." Emily smiled, feeling the warmth of her family and friends around her. She knew the road ahead might not be easy, but for the first time in years, she also knew something powerful. They could face anything, as long as they faced it together. And somewhere in the distance, the leaves rustled softly, carrying a quiet promise that even the deepest wounds could heal, hearts could grow stronger, and love, slow, steady, and unbreakable, would always find its way. The next few weeks were quiet but deliberate. The young man, whose name was revealed to be Ethan, began visiting Emily, Daniel, Sophia, and Lila regularly. At first, the air was tense. Sophia eyed him cautiously, her small hand often clutching Emily's or Daniel's. Lila watched every interaction, protective but silently hopeful. Emily, determined to show Sophia that trust could be rebuilt, guided the process carefully. "Sophia," she said one evening, "Ethan wants to help us. He made a mistake a long time ago, but now he wants to make things right." Sophia frowned thoughtfully, twirling a pencil in her hand. Can we trust him, Mom?" Emily knelt beside her. "It's okay to be careful. But sometimes, giving someone a chance is how they, and you, learn to heal." Sophia hesitated, then nodded slowly. "Okay, but slowly." Daniel smiled, ruffling her hair. "That's how we do everything now, kiddo. Slowly, together." True to Sophia's terms, Ethan started small. He helped with groceries, carried heavy bags, and spent time talking to Lila about her journey and the struggles she had faced. Emily noticed subtle changes. The once stubborn, guilt-ridden Ethan began showing empathy and patience. One afternoon, as the four of them, Emily, Daniel, Lila, and Ethan, watched Sophia play in the backyard, Ethan quietly spoke to Emily. "I don't know if I'll ever be able to make up for what I did, but seeing her laugh, seeing all of you together, I want to try. I really do." Emily smiled softly, a mixture of relief and compassion in her eyes. "You're taking the right steps, Ethan. That's all anyone can ask for. Just keep being present. Slowly, trust will come." Days turned into weeks. Sophia began opening up to Ethan, showing him her drawings and explaining her favorite stories. She even invited him to help build a small treehouse in the backyard. Lila, too, softened, sharing her experiences and letting Ethan see that people could truly change. One evening, after dinner, Emily watched Daniel and Ethan laughing together while Sophia recounted a dramatic story from school. Lila joined in, teasing Daniel, and the four adults shared a moment of quiet connection. Emily whispered to Daniel, "Look at them, the way they're becoming a family." Daniel nodded, squeezing her hand. "It's beautiful. All of us, together. The past shaped us, but it doesn't define us. Love and trust do." Sophia ran up, climbing into Emily's lap. "Mom, Dad, Lila, Ethan, come see what I drew." Emily looked down at the drawing. Four figures holding hands, sunlight streaming around them, hearts floating above. She glanced at the adults, and they all shared a quiet, meaningful look. Lila smiled softly. "Looks like we made it." Ethan nodded, eyes glistening. "Yes, together." Emily hugged Sophia close, then leaned into Daniel. "Slowly but surely, hearts can heal. Families can grow. And love can endure anything." Outside, the wind carried the rustle of autumn leaves, a gentle reminder that even after storms, life could be beautiful, vibrant, and full of hope. And in that moment, Emily, Daniel, Sophia, Lila, and Ethan, all of them, scars and all, knew it was more than just surviving. They were truly living together.